Okay guys, so just a reminder of what we need to do for Booklet 3, unless you've had a negotiation with me about variation to this. We're going through, we've read Module 1, we've read Module 2, and we've created a timeline, and that has to come in with Booklet 3. Then we've gone through, we've done our survey in Module 3, and then we've written about the strengths and the weaknesses that we believe. We've looked at the purpose, we've looked at the audience. Then we've gone through Module 4, we've read about all the survey planning materials that you need to create when you do your research project, and we've answered the questions about purpose, language, and ethics. Then we've gone through the interview planning, we've read through each of the activities the students done, and examples of their questions and examples of their scripts, and we've considered how they're using capabilities and how they're going to be ethical. Then we've read through an email extract, and we've looked through 3 questions about the email. Moving on to Module 5, we have some notes about reliability and validity. And so with this, again, we're reading what it means. Reliability, in summary, is that the data is replicable. We can see something happening over and over again. And we have some questions about why we would have situations that are reliable or unreliable. They might be both. Might depend on some things, so you're answering to the best of your ability. Then we're moving into validity, and validity is that we're measuring what we want to measure. So this is where if I want to measure your IQ and I give you the test in Korean, I'm not measuring your IQ, I'm measuring your ability to read Korean. It's a problem. So working through these questions again about why it might be valid or invalid. Now, we have this little sea turtles thing. We're going to leave that just for a second until I get back, and then we will talk it through. It's quite a useful activity. Next activity is bias, and so again, we're reading through how do we identify bias. So we look at who created it, when it was created, why it was created, who created it, and then we have some questions about bias. 4 questions, true or false. Then we have a reflection on reliability and validity. So answering again, summarizing your knowledge and looking to find some of the answers here in a space that would work really well. Then we're getting to Module 6. Now there's notes on sector that will help you to do this, but we do want to see your own thinking about this as well. If you were planning some actual research, we want you to start thinking about what would be useful for a survey and why would it be less appropriate. So going back through your learning from this booklet, we want to see what do you know about surveys? Why are they good and why are they not useful? So you've got some examples there that you might want to build on. And then we've got 3 more situations. Observations, where you watch something, experiments, when you actively change something, or practical applications, like if you actually want to build the table. Really what you're doing, how do we get it reliable, valid, and non-biased? So this is basically what we're talking about. Then we move into designing a research tool. So I want you to read through this information: purpose, audience, context, language, and form. These are the things that you need to consider when you're creating a primary source. You're going to fill in the table on the next page, answering questions about a topic of interest. So you might choose the same topic you did for Booklet 2. You might have a new idea. You might want to start thinking about your research project topic. And you'll see here that I have created a survey about underwater knitting. You got to choose one of these and then tell me what one you're choosing and what it's about. Then you're going to answer each of these questions. So what you're doing is you're showing me that you can apply this information here into a context. If you finish that, then we're moving on to Module 7. And this is where we're looking at questioning and how we create good questions. So first thing you need to do is get online and define what these questions are. You might find an example to help. And then think about what makes a good question for primary research. You might like to go back to the survey section where we talked about what was good or bad about questions. Then you have some contexts. In these contexts, you're going to be given a situation. You have to place yourself in that research, and then you have to create questions that meet the criteria. There's several of those, and once you've finished that, you're done with Booklet 3.